The longest time in visual effects, we've created these creatures and characters and digital humans for movies, but it'll take us months to go from an actor's performance to create their digital character or their digital human. And now what we're looking at doing is, well, how can we make this instantaneous? Can we capture somebody and immediately create their digital form in real time? We can make it fully realistic. Now that process is getting easier and cheaper, and we're going to see more and more of that happening. I think there's lots of cases already out there of movies that have had digital humans that no one knows about, that no one has spotted. There's lots of shows we've worked on, we can't even talk about some of the work that we've done as far as creating digital actors are concerned. My background has been in visual effects and filmmaking, making movies, probably for the last 25 years, creating visual effects and creatures and characters for some of the biggest movies out there. And over the last couple of years, I've really been focusing a lot more on sort of the technology side of things, like what is possible, and especially with the rise of machine learning and deep learning, how can we really transform what we do and kind of push it that much further?
Rise! Say hallelujah! Walk on!
At Digital Domain, we've done projects from The Curious Case of Benjamin Buttons, where we sort of created a very, very old Brad Pitt, to other shows like Maleficent, Beauty and the Beast, where we took the actor Dan Stevens and transformed all of his performances, his body performances, and especially his facial performances into the Beast. Most recently, we used a lot of this technology we've been building for Avengers Infinity Wars, where we took Josh Brolin and took all of his on-set performances, where he was live with the other actors performing, and translated that onto Thanos. So we were taking all of Josh's body movements and then especially his facial movements. So what we do is we go and we have the actor, and the actor does a whole series of different scans. And so one of the sets of scans we'll do is we'll have the actor sit down in a seated capture booth where they're going through and doing a whole series of different facial performances. And we have the special regiment that they go through, that they're opening their mouth and closing their mouth and going through these different expressions. And what we're doing is we're capturing all the ways that their skin is moving, how their skin is moving, how it's moving over the musculature in their face. Then when the actor's live on set doing their on-set performances, we have a helmet that they're wearing with a camera that's pointing at their face, and they have a series of markers on their face. And then what we do is we take these performances from set where they're talking to the other actors and working with the director, and we take those markers, those few markers on their face, and we transform that into this super high-resolution version of their face. And we're really relying on the actor's performance to really come through as that digital character.
Princess Leia being so iconic, it was something very special. Normally when you get a part, you're supposed to make it your own, breathe life into the character to interpret. But this time, I had to put all that aside. So going about it from an external point of view was very interesting and much more technical than I've done before. Well, I started by watching the Star Wars films again and again, and then also all the interviews I could find of Carrie Fisher from that time. And just absorbing. And I also read most of her books, and I just really wanted to get to know her. On my computer, I would have a clip from A New Hope, the first Star Wars film, and I would just pause it, and I would look okay, so what did she do? What did she do there with her eyes? Oh, the way she moves her mouth slightly up. Ah, right. And then I would copy. I would look myself in the mirror, do it again, and until it was all a maddening, a copy-paste process between me and the film and her. And yeah, it was very unlike anything I've ever done before in acting.
Now we're still going to spend time to really push it further and really get that last 5%, and so they could be performing live on a stage as a different person, or appearing live streaming or teleconferencing with you, where you could be talking to somebody in VR or talking to a virtual version of somebody, but all happening live and in real time. But now they can be more easily playing a different creature, a different character, an alien, a different human.